Welcome to Tricia's Yoga. I am Tricia Markovitz, and I'm so happy you're joining me. This is the most fascinating time in history right now. And it's March 22nd, 2020. And pretty much the world is in lockdown because of COVID-19, the coronavirus. So I thought, what better time to make a yoga video boosting our immune system. So today I'm going to share with you poses. Every single pose is designed to really boost and strengthen your immune system to fight off any infections or any flu bugs that you don't want right now. So it's a little odd how I start all my yoga classes, but I start and end in Shavasana. And the reason for that is to get the most out of yoga, we have to be in touch with our breath, really tuned in and focusing on that and calming the mind. So you can sit if you want. My own personal preference is to lie down because it's easier for me to completely let go of my body and surrender and get into my breath. So I'm going to show you options for that. But please sit if you're most comfortable. And I'm going to invite those of you who want to. There's some options here for lying back. And again, it's just opening up the chest to help your immune system. But to have two blocks, or you can use books, big thick books, and you kind of set up the block, one tall one, your head's going to go here, and one for support. And I'm just using a thick pillow because I figured many of you don't have bolsters. So the bolster or the pillow is going to be just not way over like this because you want support. And then you want your bottom on the mat, not on the pillow. And then when you lie back, you really open up your chest area, palms up, unless you really need to be internal, then palms down. And I'm just going to walk you through breathing techniques so you can completely surrender. So please get comfortable, gather props, and a thick pillow if you have it. That would be most ideal. Those of you who are sitting, I'll just go through this right now because you might need this at the end of class. If you want to sit this way and it's too hard on your knees, get a block for your sit bones. Or you can put a block, if you want to sit cross-legged, get your sit bones on the edge of the block. And the most important part here is to have your spine long and tall. So if you're lying down, just surrender into the mat, into the pillow, into a bolster. If you're seated, anchor in your sit bones and inhale length up in your spine. Take a full breath in. And take a full breath out. So just, if it's comfortable, close your eyes to go within so you can really just be with your breath right now. And inhale fully. And let that go. And just go inside and do a body scan. Notice if there's any areas at all that feel constricted to you or tight. So when you inhale a softness into whatever area, if it's a hip, your lower back. Inhale softness there, and then when you exhale, just let the tension, constriction go. Just release it. So keep inhaling, scanning your body, exhaling any stress or tension, letting it go. Let your shoulders just drop, release. Completely let your body be heavy if you're lying down. And just relax your body as you follow your breath. So I'm going to lead us in a 3-part breathing because it's so impactful for boosting your immune system and lowering blood pressure So the 3-part breathing technique is my absolute favorite. If you have trouble sleeping, this is a really, really great one to do too. They use it in therapy to help people with anxiety. And so again, just keep following your breath, and we're going to do this together. So make sure you're feeling relaxed. And then let's all just take a nice big full breath in, and then let that go. Take another big full breath in and release that. And then on your next breath, just take your breath into your belly and just fill your belly up. Just feel it rise. Some people like to put a hand on their belly and feel it expand, and then on your exhale you feel it go down. So just follow your breath with your belly rising and falling. Whenever I do this, I always think about what Buddha said: the bigger your belly, the bigger your heart. So just expand that belly, showing that big heart of yours. And then the next step is taking that breath all the way into your lower outer rib cages, not so much your higher rib cages, but your lower outer rib cages. So breathe in, expand those lower outer rib cages, making more room for your diaphragm, and then releasing that. So taking the breath all the way into your lower outer rib cages, expanding, releasing, following the breath, expanding the rib cages, letting that go. And then on your next breath, take it all the way up into your heart area, your collarbone region. Really expand, opening up your heart, and then releasing that. Again, you can put a hand up here if you want to. Expand the heart, letting it go, following the breath all the way up there. Now we're going to combine all three. So inhale, belly, lower rib cages, all the way up to your heart. And then release it from your heart down through your rib cages, out through your belly. So just follow that 3-part breath: belly, rib cages, heart. And exhale from the top to the bottom. Continue the 3-part breath. After you've done 5 to 7 of those, just return to your normal breath and notice how you feel inside. Probably a bit calmer. The mind has quieted and you're present right here in your living room or whatever space you're in right now. So please utilize that 3-part breath anytime you really need to calm yourself down, relieve anxiety, slow your heart rate. So throughout this little class this morning, this afternoon, whatever time it is where you are, keep going to your breath. It's not about the poses, it's about the breath. Following it in, following it out. And I did bring my breath chime. It sounds like this. So when you hear that, it's a reminder, because I know for me, when my mind kicks in, my breath, I'm holding my breath. So when you hear that, just take a breath in and then let it go. And I'm going to propose that you have a longer exhale than the inhale. You'll have deeper healing this morning or today in this yoga, especially for the immune system. Really focus on the inhale maybe being 4 count in and the exhale being 6 count out. Alrighty. If you're lying down, stay lying down, following your breath. If you're seated, get yourself lying down, because we're going to do cat-cow on our back. So you're going to have your knees up
And you'll bend your knees, kind of like in bridge position, so your ankles are under your knees and your feet are hip width apart. And make sure you kind of wiggle your outer shoulders into the mat. And maybe just slightly tuck your chin, only so that your neck is nice and long and your chin's not way up. Just have your neck be nice and long. Some people may need to put a rolled blanket under their neck. So this particular cat-cow on your back is one of the most soothing, nourishing things you can do for your whole central nervous system. It's really, really, really subtle. So you keep your head on the mat and you keep your butt on the mat, but there is going to be a motion where you're going to be a little undulation here and your head is going to be rolling, but it's just a tilting, so your head stays down. A lot of times people will lift their head or they'll lift their butt, but you're not going to do that. So super subtle. So I'll walk you through it. You inhale and you just raise your lower back and you let your chin roll down. And then you exhale and you press your spine down and you roll your chin up. Inhale, spine slightly comes up, chin goes down. Exhale, spine up. And you kind of undulate your hips. When you press the spine back down, then the hips just kind of rotate, but my butt is on the mat. So sometimes I just follow my chin, gently rolling up and down. Sometimes I'll follow my spine, flowing up and down. Sometimes I'll just follow my hips. But the whole time you're doing this, do it with your breath. One motion is with the inhalation, and the other motion is with your exhalation. Soften your eyes here. Soften your shoulders. Just let your whole central nervous system completely feel calm. Any fight or flight is released here, and you plug into your parasympathetic, calming your whole central nervous system. Do one more, and then just come to resting and just breathe. Follow your breath here. Full inhalation, count of 4. On the exhalation, a count of 6. Really feeling that calmness taking over you. Beautiful. Now you're going to keep your knees right where they are. We're going to go into bridge, which is an excellent chest opener. And we're going to open up the thymus here. This is a great immune booster. So again, press those outer shoulders into the mat, really opening up your chest here. And feet hip width apart, ankles under knees if that's available. You can put your palms down if you want. And then just inhale in, press into your heels and lift your hip. Lift your hips up, 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 up. And then sometimes I'll walk my shoulders away from my ears. And then if you want to, you can clasp your hands underneath your buttocks. And if you're a high achiever, you can lift your heels. It's up to you. So right now what's happening is the thymus, this area, this organ right here in your chest, is stimulating T cells, and that's white blood cells that help fight infection. This pose is so great to boost your immune system. It's amazing, the power of this pose right here. So now I want you to keep those hips raised and feel the strength that's building in your lower body. And at the same time now soften your tongue, soften your throat, and let your thyroid and your upper lungs be nourished here. So as your lower body is being strengthened, let your whole thyroid, upper lungs be soothed and nourished. If you soften the tongue, soften your throat. So really keep those hips lifted up, engage your glutes, And then release your hands if they're underneath you. And very slowly on the exhale, roll your spine down, roll your buttocks down, bring your heels down, adjust your spine, adjust your neck, and breathe. Really full inhalation and a fuller exhalation, whatever your count is. Maybe your count's 6 and 8, or maybe it's 4 and 6, but breathe it in. It's good to take pauses to really let those T cells be generated here to help fight infection and inflammation in your body. So let's do that one more time. Make sure the lineup is good with your heels to your knees. Make sure your neck is nice and long. And then when you're ready, inhale, hips up, 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 up. It's your choice if you want to lift your heels. You don't have to. Keep your knees forward. Don't let them come out. And then feel the strength in your lower body. Open your chest even higher. Bring the shoulder blades a little bit closer together. Take your abs towards your spine and really open up that chest area for your thymus. Let it be stimulated. Let those T cells really generate here to fight infection. Beautiful. Keep your breath full and long. Exhalation being longer than the inhalation. Keep the tongue and the throat soft. The thyroid and the upper lungs really need attention in this time right now. So soften that area, throat, tongue, jaw, but the lower body's being strengthened. Feel your glutes, your legs. On your next exhalation, slowly roll your spine down, buttocks down, heels down if they were up. Adjust your back. And just, again, breathe in what you just did. Creating those T cells, those white blood cells fighting infection right now, making your immune system stronger. Wonderful. Alrighty, now just roll over on your side and make your way up into a seated position. Gonna go into Ardha Matsyendrasana, which is a spinal twist. So, spinal twists for the immune system are so powerful because most of us have indigestion problems. So we really need to stimulate those organs. So this particular pose, we're going to be stimulating the stomach and all of those toxins that build up when our digestive system is off. This will help release the toxins. It's very powerful. So some of you who have tight hamstrings, you can roll up a blanket or sit on a block if it's more comfortable. If you need a little bit more height, there's always modifications. So, but just if you have a blanket, roll it up tightly and have your sit bones be on the edge. Whatever works for you. And some people like to have a block behind them when we go into the twist for more support. So sitting up really tall, you're going to take your right foot and just cross it over flat down on the floor next to your left thigh. And you can just leave the left leg out straight but flex it, or you can take this foot and bring the left heel over to your right hip. It's your choice, whatever feels best to you. So the right foot's planted. You're going to clasp your hands and bring them down to your shin, and this will just help you to lift the spine. It's like every time I do that, it's like, oh, my vertebrae can breathe and I've got space in between my organs. It's like everyone's smiling inside. So feel that height, like you're lifting up through the crown of your head. Wonderful. And then when you feel nice and tall and your spine is as erect as you can get it, then you'll take the right hand behind you, behind your lower back. And some people like to have a block back there. Put your palm on a block, whatever feels best. And then you can either put the left elbow on the outside of that right knee, or you can just hug your knee in, but you don't want the knee to go out. You want to hug it in, and then sit really, really, really tall. Inhale, length up through the crown of your head, and then exhale, looking out over that right shoulder. And make sure the right shoulder is dropped down and it's not up high. So drop the shoulder down and breathe fully here. Lifting up through the crown of your head. And just notice where your abdominal muscles are right now, what's happening inside. But just know your stomach and your intestines and all those organs that support your digestive system, they are having a party inside. They're so happy you're doing this. Trust me, those toxins do damage. And this is one of the best ways to fight infection and inflammation is twists like this one. So breathe fully, shoulders are down. Sometimes it helps to slightly bend the right elbow that's behind you so that you can really get into your kidneys. One more full inhalation. And a fuller exhalation as you slowly, carefully come out of the pose and bring both legs in front of you. And those of you who want to, with straight legs, flex feet, you can just kind of walk your hands down, but keep your spine long for Paschimottanasana. So try not to round your back out on this one. Maintain the integrity of your spine, lifting through the crown of your head. It doesn't matter. You don't have to go all the way down. But sometimes it helps with either your fingertips or press your palms to kind of press your sit bones down and push through your heels. Push through your heels. And then just gently walk the fingertips back, and then you're going to take your left foot on the outside of your right thigh. And again, you can leave that leg straight out, that's fine. Just make sure the foot's flexed. Or you can tuck that right heel next to your left hip. Clasp your hands around your left shin and use that leverage. Ah, yeah. You just grew. And your organs are breathing. They've got space. Your vertebrae has space in between now. And then you just take your left hand when you're nice and tall and put it behind you on a block or not, whatever works. And then the right elbow on the outside, or just hug the knee in, whatever feels best to you. So inhale, length up through your crown, and then exhale back towards that left shoulder. Drop the left shoulder. Nice. Just make note of the abdominal muscles. Maybe invite them to go towards your spine. Slightly bend the elbow behind you to really let those kidneys get a little bit more attention. Now can you just imagine all of those digestive organs are so happy right now, releasing toxins that have built up, really play havoc on your immune system. Just be so grateful that you're healthy enough to do this right now. So inhale, length up through the crown of your head, letting all those digestive organs be massaged, be stimulated, releasing toxins that you don't want in there anymore, especially to fight off any bugs. One more inhalation. On the exhalation, slowly coming out. Legs straight, your choice if you want to walk your fingertips forward. Alrighty, and then walk your hands back if you were in forward fold. So now we're just going to come into all fours, come around on your all fours. And anytime you're on all fours, be very cognizant of spreading your fingers as wide as you can. I mean, like getting those as much space as possible between those fingers. Like exaggerate. And you want the shoulders over the wrists and hips over the knees. So this is going to be similar to down dog, but not exactly. We're going to do an inverted V. It's very similar to down dog. Same principle. So it's very invigorating and calming for the nervous system at the same time. It's like the perfect pose to nurture yourself and bring harmony. So you're going to tuck your toes and you're going to go into down dog, but what's happening is your heels are gonna come. But before we do this, because the hamstrings quite aren't ready, take your feet to the outside of the mat, keeping them at that. Don't bring them way back here, but keep them more up like they were. And then what you're gonna do is just play here. You're just gonna play. You're just gonna move around. Maybe close your eyes and feel, what does your body want right now? Do your elbows want to be bent? I know for me it feels really good to bend one knee and straighten out the other to really get into my hips. Whatever feels good. How can you get into your hamstrings, your inner groin, whatever your shoulders are wanting? Just move around a little bit. Give your body what it wants. Relax your neck. So after you've given your body, and stay here as long as you feel like, you're just going to bring the feet in. Again, hip width, but you want your legs, you don't want them way back like down dog where you can't press your heels in. So bring your feet up to where you can press in your heels. Okay, now look at your fingers. Are they as wide as you can get? Now press into the palms. Press into the palms. Bring your butt high, and now press into the balls of your feet. Spread your toes. Press into your heels. Feel your strength. Butt high. Roll your shoulders open. And now notice your abdominal muscles. Bring them up towards your spine. So in this pose, feel the balance point between the upper and lower body. I mean, really pressing into all 4 points. Both your palms, both your feet, evenly. Distribute the weight evenly. Feel the strength here. This is such a beautiful pose. Really press into your palms. Feel your arms, your triceps engage. Feel how strong your legs are here. So you're balancing the upper and lower part of your body, and you're balancing the left and right side of your body as well. So make your spine long. Feel your strength here. Breathe in for a count of 4, abs up towards your spine. Breathe out for a count of 6, finding that stillness. Find the stillness and the balance. And then big inhale. On the exhalation, just walk your feet towards your hands. And here, if you want to be a Raggedy Andy, if your palms don't come down to the floor, just hold on to your elbows. And have your knees bent if your hamstrings are tight. But if there's any stress in your shoulders, your neck, just very, very gently rock it out. Whatever your body's wanting right now. And then I want you to be very mindful before we inhale up. If you have any spine issues, low back issues, osteopenia, osteoporosis, please use your abdominal muscles and come up with a flat spine. Otherwise, roll up. Your choice. Rolling up, use your inhalation. All right, from this inverted V, you're just going to take your feet further back, and you're going to inhale up into a plank. So planks are really great for boosting the immune system, really building your strength here. So if you have a favorite way to do plank, do so. I do a lot of variations, and again, you can have your legs a little bit further apart if you want to. Make sure your shoulders are underneath the wrists, or your palms can be slightly forward. Just don't have your hands back this way. Alrighty, so if you want to, just keeping your abs up and feel that strength. So push through your heels, really reach through the crown of your head. If you're a high achiever, you can raise your left hand up and then raise your right hand up, whatever you want, whatever feels good to you. Or you can take your left palm on your right shoulder, take your right palm on your left, and just alternate, maintaining your abs up towards your spine. Feel the strength. And one more inhalation here. Really push through your heels. Lengthen through the crown of your head. And then if you've had enough, just one knee down at a time. And then just go back in child's pose, knees wide, big toes touching. And let your forehead rest on the mat here. And if your forehead doesn't touch the mat, grab a blanket or a block to make sure your forehead is resting on the mat. When the forehead is touching the mat, it's stimulating your intuitive chakra. So it's really letting your intuition center be stimulated here, which is great because in this stressful time, we really need to honor whatever our body is wanting. And when your intuition is alive, you can hear it. Sometimes it's hard to listen when there's so much chaos around us. All right, and then you're just gonna come up and we're gonna go into side plank. Now you're probably groaning about now. So I'm gonna show you a nice modification for side plank. So we'll be down on our right elbow, and the elbow is just underneath the shoulder there. And then take your bottom leg, and that knee is going to go straight down. So your knee's not bent here, and it's not behind you where you can't see it. So you look down, and there's a line here with that knee, and then your leg's going to go straight. So this is a great way to do an abbreviated side plank. So side planks are just really great for strengthening your immune system. And you don't have to raise this, but you can kind of play here and do different things or not. Some of you have, you can do plank, but make sure your feet are flexed when you do this. Some of you will raise the top leg, whatever works for you, but keep your hips up high, 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 high. So your butt is forward and the head is back, so you have this nice line. Strong, strong, strong. Or that leg is down and you're lifting your hips up. So then come down, go back into child's pose, but this time with your knees together and your arms by your side and your forehead into the mat. And breathe here, breathe fully. Full inhalation, counting to 4. Fuller exhalation with a count to 6. Letting calmness take over. Feeling your heartbeat. Up and just go to the other side. Whichever way works for you. Again, shoulder, really, really important, the alignment. You could hurt yourself if you're not aligned, speaking from experience. So whatever way works for you, just make sure your hips are up and your arms reaching up, up, up. And if you want to, you can have fun and do, whatever. But just have the form of the plank where your hips are up, your head is back, your butt's more forward, so there's that line. And then whenever you've had enough, again, come down into child's pose in whichever way you want. Either knees together and arms by your side, or knees wide, big toes touching, whatever works for you. Taking a big breath in and smoothly releasing that for a little bit longer. 4 in, 6 out. Just feeling the calmness in your body and your immune system feeling so much stronger. And then whenever you're ready, coming up to standing, tuck your toes, whatever way works for you. So this next series, it's a little Ayurveda series, and it's specific for immune system, building us up, fighting infection, fighting inflammation, reducing it. So the first one is Prasarita Bhojanasana. So this one is the wide, like 3 to 4 feet. And the most important part is the outside of your foot is parallel to the end of your mat. And if you're more advanced, then have your feet more pigeon-toed, where your heel is actually out more. It's up to you, whatever you prefer. So when you push down on the outside of your feet, you really then activate all your legs. So lift up through the crown of your head. Feel the strength in your legs. Wonderful. And then if you have a block, you can put a block underneath your head. If you don't, it's okay. Or you could get a thick book. I should have told you earlier. You don't have to use a block though. But if you want to use a block, for some people it's more accessible. And then you lift your right arm up. So you want this line. So make sure if you're using a block or your hand is underneath your head. So there's this nice line. So while you're here, press through your outer feet to strengthen the legs. Feel that strength and raise up with the right fingers. Separate the right fingers. Open up the heart space. Open up the chest, the lungs. Let them breathe. Let them be strengthened here. Press through your outer feet. Inhale for 4. Exhale for 6. Check your abdominal muscles. Where are they right now? Soften your eyes as you feel the length in your arms. One more inhalation. And then exhale the right hand down, switching on that block or on the floor, whatever you're doing. And then lifting the left arm up, separating the fingers. And now press through your outer feet. Really feel the strength in your legs. Soften the roof of your mouth. Breathe. Let your chest space, your heart space open on this side. Press through that bottom palm. Reach up with the upper fingers. Breathing in for 4. Out for 6. Check your abdominal muscles. And then slowly bringing that hand down. And then if you have a block, putting the block aside. And then just having your hands come forward into down dog. But not forward where you want your legs and buttocks to stay perpendicular to the floor. So they don't come too far forward, but spread. And then use the floor to press length in your spine. Abs up towards that beautiful spine of yours. Now press into your outer legs and make your arms strong here. Engage your triceps. Roll your shoulders open. Beautiful. And then walk your fingers back and use your abs to come up with a flat spine. Lovely. Nice. How are you all doing? Okay, so the next one, it's kind of hard. I'm going to show you from the back side. We're going to be standing on, coming up on our toes. This is different. Every day I do this, it's different. So who knows what today's going to bring. So have your feet hip width apart and lengthen up. Lengthen your spine. And then it's probably good to focus on one thing. And then when you're up, if you can, clasp your hands together and bring them up. This is immune boosting. As you're boosting your heels up, you're strengthening your immune system right now. Make your arms stronger. And then coming down whenever you've had enough. And that one, do that 2 or 3 times. And literally every day is going to be different on that. So this next one is the last of these 3 series of Ayurveda immune boosters. So standing poses, I'm going to have you lift and separate your left toes and then place them down. So now that left arch is activated and that left lower ankle. And you're just going to lift the right knee. Long spine. So there's modifications here. So just take your left hand and put it on the outside of that knee. and then bring your right hand back. And you look back towards the hand maybe. Or you can do the yogi toe hold and stretch out that leg and then take the right hand back, standing tall, 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 tall. You can have a slight bend in the left knee if you want. But find your breath here to really boost the immune system. Having a twist as you stand. Powerful. Inhale for 4, pushing through both heels. Exhale for 6, slowly coming out. And just standing in a soft Tadasana. So maybe close your eyes and do a scan here. Are your knees over your ankles? Are your hips over your knees? Are your shoulders over your hips? Sometimes I roll my shoulders back and open and just lift up through the crown of your head, making sure it's placed beautifully on your spine. Lovely. And then whenever you're ready, you'll bend the left knee and make sure you've raised the right toe, spread and place them down. So now that arch is activated, lower ankle. And then whatever way you want to do this side will be different. Don't make yourself wrong. It's okay. And whatever you can do here, again, it's okay to slightly bend the right knee. Feel your immune system, just breathe. Take it in. Give yourself all of this nurturance, all of this strength to fight off this virus that's facing this country right now, this world right now. Just know you're giving a lot of love to yourself. Inhale fully. On the exhalation, slowly coming out of it, standing in a Tadasana. Feeling your strength. Breathe in your courage. Acknowledge yourself for all you do and all your goodness. Just take it in, breathe in gratitude. And exhale that out into the world. All right, so the last immune boosting in this series is legs up the wall. And I'm going to give you a modification. Obviously, right here in this room, I don't have a wall, but I want to show you, for those of you who have a wall, to get your butt against the wall, it really takes being almost like on your side with half of your cheek, half of your buttocks on the wall. And then when you go like this, now my butt is against the wall or against this couch. But you have to start with being that close. So it won't work if you're here and then you roll up. But I also want to show you this alternative. If you're in a room like me right now with not really a wall, you can use a block at whatever height you want. It goes about at your sacrum, not really your waist, not really your butt. But you get like in bridge position, shoulders open, and then raise your legs like this. And it's wonderful. It's just so supportive. So what's happening when your legs are up the wall or your legs are suspended, it's a type of an inversion. So what's happening is your lymph system is draining and is being healed right now. And this is so good for fighting infection, reducing inflammation. I call it a cheap facelift too. But this is, if you're feeling really stressed, it's really great if your legs are hurting or your hamstrings are too tight. Do legs up the wall or get a block under you and get your legs up. It's very, very healing. So stay in this position, follow your breath, and breathe, breathe, breathe fully here. It's really a good one for getting grounded. Just fill yourself up with whatever ingredient you're needing the most right now. Maybe it's kindness for you, maybe it's tenderness. Just breathe in whatever loving kindness you're needing. Breathe it in fully. Longer exhalation. And for Shavasana, you can have your legs up the wall and stay there, or you can find your way down to your mat and get comfortable using props or no props, whatever works best for you. But Shavasana is really important pose. It's probably the most important pose because it's a time where you get to breathe, and everything that you've done, you've kind of just re-educated your whole body, and then it assimilates and it integrates and it sinks in. So please take time, even if you have to rush off somewhere, at least take a couple minutes in Shavasana and just breathe. Take a long, full, deep breath in, and ever so gently let that go. Take another long, full, deep breath in, completely releasing that. Please take time for yourself during this absolute time of uncertainty for all of us, and knowing one thing is constant, and that is love. So if you're not seated, roll to a side, keeping your breath going, and come to a seated position. Putting your palms together at your heart center. And just take a moment to take your tips of your fingers and bow your head down and thank yourself for taking time for you, especially right now when you need this deeply. Hands back to your heart center, and remember that when you're really stressed or not feeling well or feeling a tickle in your throat, throw out your yoga mats. One of the best ways to boost your immune system. I so appreciate all of you out there and your big hearts. From my heart to your heart, namaste.